Washington, D.C., and I was invited by a stranger I met in the airport. This is the coolest story, okay? Okay, this is John, and this is EJ, okay? Superman. Okay, now, okay, so this would happen. I went up to some strangers. I was in a really bad mood. And I go, did they call Zone 4 yet? No. Did they call Zone 4 yet? I don't know. Did they call Zone? I don't know, you know. And I go up to this stranger and I go, did they call Zone 4 yet? And he goes, I just saw you on the internet. And then he goes, on Politichicks. And I was like, you saw Politichicks? Because we just started this. We have no money, no writer, no director, no anything. And it's 4 girls trying to tell the truth because the mainstream media is not telling the truth. And so he goes, I'm an expert on the Islamization of America. But he said it in his fancy words. I don't know his fancy words. And then his partner came up, a war professor from the Pentagon. And, am I allowed to say that? And, who shall remain nameless because you're not allowed to tell the truth anymore. And they said, we saw you singing. They like beheadings and pedophile weddings, you know, speaking of the Muslims. And so then they gave me their book, and now I'm becoming an expert, and I get to go to the meeting tomorrow of the Congress and the Homeland Security Committee. And I get to hear what our representatives hear, because I'm with the people, and I should know what they're hearing. And I'm going to tell you what I heard. I can't film in the meeting because, you know, Barney Frank might be in there. I heard he's retiring. Hallelujah. Anyway, you know, he started the whole economic crisis, but don't get me started. And so now I would like to ask, I asked John on the plane, we talked for 3 hours. I said, is Islamization of America more of a threat to us than communism / socialism? And he said,
yes.
Expound. Expound.
Okay, you said you wanted short answers, so that was short.
This
yes.
time long because I talk too much.
Well, it's different, and both communism and the Islamic movement seek to attack the very foundational pillars of the society: the religion, the media, education, and the political support structure of the society. Communism did the exact same thing, as well as infiltrate various sectors of society to include those. The difference is the Muslim Brotherhood has the cloak of religion, which Americans, rightly so, believe a person's personal and individual religion should be protected. And nobody should stand in the way between an individual and their freedom of expression, freedom of religion. Unfortunately, the Brotherhood, the Islamic movement specifically says they seek to impose foreign law, Islamic law, on the United States and on the West. There is no constitutional protection for that. And that's the big difference, is by cloaking it in religion, they immediately get well-intentioned, good Americans to step back and freeze, instead of recognizing this as a threat to the very Constitution that serves to guide this nation.
What about the peaceful Muslims? You know, the peaceful ones.
Well, what we're training on is the ideology of the enemy. And we're not painting any broad brushes about what all Muslims believe or don't believe. What we're saying is that there is an ideology, and there is Sharia law, and that those that adhere to Sharia law comprise the nature of this threat. So it's not that every Muslim in this world is in America is going to lie to you, that they're not even good-hearted Americans that are looking out for the best interests of this country. But we're focused on defining this enemy, who this enemy is, how this enemy operates, and finding their ideology. And if that means those that are following Islamic law as it is published, authoritative in English, it is knowable, then that is who our enemy is, period. And whoever falls into that category is an enemy. And so, no, not all Muslims are enemies of the United States.
I disagree with you because I read the book. John, didn't you write the book though? Okay, John, are there peaceful Muslims?
I want to really emphasize something that EJ said. There are plenty of people who self-identify themselves as Muslims that don't believe in Sharia, that don't seek to wage violent jihad, and that don't seek to overthrow the U.S. government. And obviously those people are not a threat to us in any way. However, anybody that seeks to establish Sharia in the United States is clearly seeking to overthrow our government and our Constitution. And that is a direct threat to the Constitution itself, which we all swore an oath to protect and defend against.
Yes, but I read the papers, and you see, if all the Muslims have to pay, they have to pay a tithe. Their tithe is going to the guys who kill. And if they don't support Sharia, they get killed. They get kicked out as Muslims. So if they say they're a Muslim and they don't believe in Sharia, then they're not really a Muslim, or they're just one in name only, like a cafeteria Catholic or something. Comment?
Here's my comment.
Oh wait, my dad said it's a good thing that most Muslims are lukewarm, or we'd all be dead.
Here's my response to that. As a national security consultant, it's not my job to tell somebody they're a good or a bad Muslim or whatever. It's not my job to tell. I mentioned this earlier, to say what true Islam is or isn't. My job is, as EJ mentioned, as was mentioned before, is to look at the threat and what the enemy seeks to do. This enemy clearly states that they are called the Islamic movement, and they seek to implement and impose Sharia, which is foreign law, on us. That is a violation of the Constitution and of federal law. That's where we need to draw the line.